news of the day? WTAE 4 News at 5:30, where the news comes first.
You're watching WTAE TV in Pittsburgh.
All right, what do you do for that stain, the spot on the furniture? Who do you need to answer all of your household problems? Who else? Heloise. Good morning, I'm Ann Devlin, and that's who Pittsburgh's Talking with right here on WTAE TV. Now see, for those of you who have been watching throughout this week, you may know that who did we need earlier in the week? We needed Heloise. Why? Because I am writing before a show in the dressing room and the ink pen explodes in my fingers. One of those felt tip jobs, right? Starts feeling a little gooey in my hand. I look down, black ink dripping off of my fingers. It has been days. 35 calls in one show with people calling up and suggesting their home remedies, their own Heloise tips on how to get out felt tip marker. And I can show you that the only thing that's come off of this finger is the skin. I mean, day by day, it has just lessened a little bit. I think the shampoo helped, you know, every day. But I still am wearing black ink and very little nail polish as a result of all the remedies that we tried. So I know that's been my problem this week. But I know those of you at home, you have your own problems, your own spots, your stains, your questions. And you all want to know how to solve your problems economically, but you also probably now are a little bit more aware because of Earth Day and our Project Earth campaign about being environmentally safe. Well, Heloise is here this morning and she has new tips. Her new book is called Heloise Hints for a Healthy Planet. Yes, Heloise is moving into the 90s. Please welcome her this morning again to Pittsburgh's Talking. We're glad to have her back. We're glad you're back with us. Come on up. Now, we should say, first off, that you're in town, not just for us, though we know you would come back and see us, right?
I would come back just for you.
Thank you so much. But you are also in town for a celebration of women in the 1990s, which is an exhibit fair this weekend at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center downtown, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. today and tomorrow. Tickets are $5, can be bought at the door, and Heloise will be speaking today at 1 o'clock this afternoon and tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Tomorrow morning, and then Heloise, you're a tough act to follow, but at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, we should tell folks that there's going to be a group of us, women who are in broadcasting in Pittsburgh, who are going to do a roundtable discussion about what is this life really like, not as glamorous or as magical as you think. So that is a celebration of women in the 1990s at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center downtown. I'll tell you about it again before the end of the show. But now let's get on to it. Heloise, where were you earlier? That's right. Where were you earlier in the week when I had this massive ink stain all over my hand and I couldn't get it off? I mean, we tried everything, including like crankshaft cleaner for cars. I mean, I think that was what did me in, and that opened up the skin on it. But I mean, we all have these problems, and heading into the 1990s, aside from my ink pen stain, what are we looking at here as environmentally safe way to handle household problems?
What we're looking at is that when my mother, the original Heloise, started the column 30 years ago, the idea was to use things that you had. See, she's going, I told you that wasn't the original Heloise.
No matter how white her hair is,
no matter how white the hair is, yes. I actually have a plastic surgeon on retainer. Not yet. But when she started the column in '59 and early 60s, her attitude was, there are things that you have in your house that you can use to clean with. All right? Our grandmothers did this. Our grandmothers didn't go to the store and buy window cleaner and stainless steel cleaner and bathtub cleaner and things. We used natural products. And the attitude was, use something one more time before throwing it out. So what back then used to be called thrifty, cheap, right? Economical, right, is now, thank heavens, coming back around, and we're all concerned with the environment. We only have one planet, all right? There's only one Mother Earth, and as far as I know, we can't move, okay? And I'm a great believer in the individual effort, that my readers, my fans, that when they say, we printed a hint about when you buy eggs. Now, everyone knows this now, but before you buy eggs, you open the carton, look at it. If there's a cracked egg, what do? You put it back. Well, instead of closing the lid for some other poor soul to buy it, leave the lid open and the store manager will see it and they'll change it. Well, like 2 days after printing that, when I went into the grocery store, the manager said, I wish you'd let me know when you're doing this stuff. You know, people really do listen and people want to help. So we have some things here today that are...
That makes so much sense, because I got to tell you, last weekend I went grocery store shopping. Honestly, I must have gone through 8 things of eggs, 8 cartons of eggs before I got one that had 12 eggs all intact. And I thought, you know, there could be a candid camera right out here, because I bet you there have been dozens of people all day long going through the same 8 boxes till they got to their 9th and then put that one in their cart.
So the hint is, leave the carton open so the next person doesn't have to go through that, or maybe a lot of people don't check, and believe me, they'll take care of it.
The downside, Heloise, is that sometimes your hints make such common sense we're embarrassed to think we didn't think of it ourselves.
See, that's the point. Nothing is really original. It's just that maybe you haven't been aware of it. And these are cleaning things that half of the audience is going to say, well, I knew that. My grandmother did that. I've always known that. But the other half says, gee, I didn't know that. You mean I don't have to go buy mirror cleaner? Now they have window cleaner and mirror cleaner on the market, and it's a nice little plastic bottle, which is hard to recycle, and it's blue, so if you want to add blue food coloring to this, you can. But one of the easiest things to use is household vinegar. Now, I even have a vinegar pamphlet, 101 uses for vinegar you never thought you would think of. But this is what I use in my house, okay? This is now they've done a real good job here, a real dirty mirror. Gunking mirror, yes. And that vinegar will cut grease, all right? There's lipstick down on the corner. It'll tape lipstick off, and then you simply dry it, and it cleans a mirror, it cleans windows. It will clean. There's a little bit of oil left.
Will it make the mirror smell like vinegar?
Once it dries, vinegar does not smell.
Always reminds me of dyeing Easter eggs, doesn't it?
Well, and everybody...
Yeah, because of that vinegar smell. I can smell it all the way over here.
You can smell it, but once it dries, and if you want to do, say, half vinegar and half water in a container to do that, that's fine. The other thing I use a lot of is rubbing alcohol. Rubbing alcohol is real cheap. When it's on sale, buy 4 bottles. I keep one in each guest bathroom, and when it's time to clean the mirrors, you know how you walk in and you see a spot? My philosophy on housekeeping is do it when you see it. You know, I don't want to have to vacuum on Tuesday if it doesn't need it. So when you see it, take the rubbing alcohol, put it on a facial tissue, an old newspaper, those are fantastic for doing mirrors, and just wipe the mirror off, and it's shiny and it doesn't smell.
Thank you.
Oh my God, who's that woman? That's
well, it happens. I mean, every time you brush your teeth, you get a little spot of toothpaste on the mirror, don't you?
And see, I'm part of my philosophy is that if you pick 3 things that are important to you in your household, that are always done and always either neat, whether it's the mirror's always being shiny, or the sink is always cleaned out, or the kitchen counter's not cluttered, or the bed is always made. Pick 3 things and be sure that those are always done. Then the rest of it can go by the wayside.
That's so your friends always have 3 nice things to say about you, right?
And see, mine is mirrors. If the mirror in the bathroom is clean and there are no towels on the floor, it looks presentable. Nobody's going to look in the bathtub, but if they do, guess what? They deserve what they find.
Aha!
Don't they?
Let's bring in someone from home. Tammy from Pleasant Hills. Good morning. Tammy, you with us?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. Don't be shy.
I love your show.
Thank you.
I have some white vertical blinds that I bought about 2 years ago, and I have regularly dusted and cleaned them with mild soap, but they are yellowy. What can I do about that?
Now, are these the metallic kind?
They're vinyl.
Vinyl, okay.
Vinyl. Okay, vinyl, since it is a petroleum plastic product, probably will yellow with age, unfortunately. Dusting them, keeping them dusted is a good idea. And you may want to check on what you're cleaning them with, because if you don't rinse it well enough, the soap or the detergent that you're using is left on the vinyl, and that can be causing it to yellow.
And maybe you could call the manufacturer, ask them. I mean, let me just tell you, I got to the point with this ink on my finger that I almost called the manufacturer and said, you all must have had occasions where you got this ink on your hands. How did you get it off?
Well, see, the question is, wasn't it permanent ink?
No.
It wasn't?
Not to my knowledge, it wasn't. It was just your regular old heavy-duty felt tip marker.
Well, maybe you could start a fad. You know, could you have done like a little butterfly, pretended that it was no.
The only one who's had tattoos in this town as a woman this week has been Cher, okay? And you know where those tattoos were.
All right.
Not my speed at all.
Not your speed. All right, another home style cleaning aid. Now, my husband is a plumbing contractor, And he and I go back and forth on this occasionally. This is preventive medicine. If you have a slow flowing drain, not one that is clogged, but slow flowing. If you do
My
this,
bathroom sink right
your bathroom
now,
sink.
this morning.
All right, preventive is put in, we're going to pretend this is a drain, all right? Sprinkle in about a half a cup, whatever, just baking soda. Now, if you want to get real recyclable, reusing, after you take the baking soda out of the refrigerator, then you pour it down the drain and you get double use out of it. And then add, where's our camera?
Right
I
there.
want you to watch this.
You're on.
You're on. Some vinegar.
Ooh, this is like a chemistry experiment.
Yes. What it does is it bubbles up,
Right.
all right, and you let it sit there for a couple of minutes, and then you run the water for about 5 minutes, and it flushes this all the way through the plumbing. See, most people, myself included, until I married my husband, the garbage disposal was nothing but this black hole that you stuffed things in, right? You turn the switch on, and it goes away.
Exactly.
Guess what? It doesn't. The plumbing does this. So when you look at the plumbing and realize all that stuff you stuffed down there has to go all the way through. That's why it's important to do this and run a lot of water afterwards. This is not caustic. It won't hurt the pipes. It won't hurt the environment. If it gets into the system, or if you're on a septic system, it doesn't hurt it. And it's safe to have around. I mean, if a child ate too much baking soda, they would just have an upset tummy. So these are things that I like to tell people, use these products first. This is what you have in your house. It's inexpensive, they're safe, they're environmentally good.
Now that's preventive, but what happens if it's already too late?
I just asked my husband.
Ah,
You can ask my husband.
okay, we'll get him on the phone later.
All right, eggshells. Now, when we're talking about using things a second and third time, all right, a lot of people, whoops. Okay, now, is there really a way to reuse eggshells? Well, not for edible, but what you do is, save the eggshells. I use a plastic gallon jug that I've cut the top off. I put the eggshells in there, add water, and let it sit for a day or two, and then water your plants with this. All right, it adds nutrients, vitamins, etc. Do you do that? Yes, see?
My mother
See?
used to put the eggshells right on the plants with coffee grounds,
Same
too.
thing, same thing. These are coffee grounds. Now, the hint is, or what's real important, is to try and let them dry out before dumping them on the surface. If you put them on the surface and then mix this in with the soil, it will help aerate the soil. And for certain plants, like I believe it's azaleas that like high acid.
Acid, right.
This is real good. But otherwise, be sure and dry it out, because I got real gung-ho and just kept dumping it on this plant, and about 5 days later, there was all this green stuff growing on the top, and it was not plants, it was mold because of the moisture.
Right.
So either be sure that you mix it in with the soil, all right, or let it dry out first. So you never thought there was a thing to do with leftover coffee grounds, did you? But there is.
Very clever. Hold on, let's bring in someone else from home. Kathy from McKeesport, good morning.
Good morning. Heloise, about a year ago, I had my husband replace the caulking around my bathtub. I think it was with a vinyl caulking, and he did a terrible job and dripped it all in the bathtub, and it has left stains that will not come out. I've tried bleaching them, and it'll lighten it up a little bit, but then over a period of a few weeks, it just keeps coming back.
Kathy, have you been giving him heck about this for the past year?
I tell him he's going to have to buy me a new bathtub or do one of those refinishing things.
You are tough. All right.
That probably is what you're going to have to do, because I can't think of a way, now, why isn't my husband here, to remove the caulking without damaging the porcelain enamel or fiberglass surface. And the only other thing to do is to have having the bathtub refinished is not a bad idea. Be sure and check, all right, that the person that you're dealing with has references, they know what they're doing, because there are a lot of fly-by-night firms. It can run anywhere from $120 to $200, and they come out and they do a very good job. Be sure and check the seal, that it's glazed right. Then after that, you cannot use abrasive cleansers, because it'll scratch the surface. And it's a lot cheaper than, see, I thought it'd be real easy to replace the kitchen sink. I said, wow, David, well, he said, dear, do you know what well, you're a plumber, you can do it. Well, excuse me, they have to take all the tile out, they have to take the grouting out, they have to pull the tub out, which sometimes can pull the plumbing out. It's a very expensive job, so it's much better to try and have it refinished first.
And probably call someone first and ask them if that's what you need to do, because there are lots of times when you think, got to replace this. And then in the end, if you just get some good advice, there is a way to fix the problem.
Your county extension agent now is Use your tax dollars.
Right.
I use a lot of resources. I use the county extension agent. They know everything from how long to cook a pot roast to plumbing to gardens and plants and flowers. The reference desk at the library.
Right.
Those people are unsung heroes. They are wonderful. You can call and say, I don't know about, and they'll say, well, I know the answer, or let me go looking for books, and they'll call you back. They're wonderful. And major manufacturers, you were correct. Many of them have 800 numbers. Customer service is what they're trying to do. Ask them. They've heard it all.
And you know some plumber professionally has done a botchy job and dripped the stuff into the caulking or whatever it is into the tub, and they've had to fix this problem themselves.
I would only say to the caller that it would probably be worth saving your marriage to get it fixed.
That's right, exactly. It's been going on for a year now.
It's been going on a long time, and that can wear on relationships.
Make the call today, won't you? All right, let's take a break. We'll come right back with Heloise and more of your questions in a moment.
This time of year, the superstars all come out to play in the south of France. And if you want to know more, come on along with a very special tour guide.
Live from the Riviera Entertainment tonight. How are you?
Join Sylvester Stallone in Cannes for an exclusive look at the most famous film festival in the world. Plus, go on the road with Bob Hope as he celebrates 50 years of entertaining the troops. It's an exclusive doubleheader. Bob Hope and Sylvester Stallone, only on the next Entertainment Tonight.
Tonight at 7:30 on WTAE TV.
Hi. Some of you have written to ask, does it matter which plastic bag you use? A question not to be taken lightly. So we placed a brick in a Ziploc storage bag. And then in the new Sure Seal storage bag from Reynolds, proving once again, it's Sure Seal or bust.
They're the toughest plastic bags ever built. New Sure Seal bags from Reynolds. It's Reynolds Sure Seal or bust.
Da-da-da, dee-dee, da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
The new Gateway Clipper Fleet. Gangway for adventure.
She's moving to the music of a night out on the water, and the people are doing it all. It's a Clipper Fleet night on the water, and the crew is playing to the call of a night out on the water, and the people are doing it all.
Introducing the GE Takeout Counter. It lets you have instant access to something as large as a gallon of milk. Provides enough counter space to make a 2-foot sandwich. But perhaps its most incredible feature is that each one comes with 25 cubic feet of the most intelligently designed refrigerator at no extra charge. The GE Space Center 25.
Here's another hint from Heloise to rub lemon on your hands to get the odors off. I've done that. Preparing fish and things or shrimp where you just can't get it off. And I've tried that, it works.
And also the back side of the peel side has oils in it. Lemon oil, that's where it came from. So if you take a lemon rind and squeeze it, you'll see the oil out there, and you can use that on your hands, and it's almost like a hand lotion or conditioner.
Very nice.
Smells good.
The stain segment. We have to do this every time you come because you have great ideas and everybody has problems.
Actually, I said I'm probably going to go to my grave. My last words are going to be, rubbing alcohol takes out ballpoint ink. And that's what we're going to talk about, because out of all the questions that I get, and I've been doing this a long time, and I can remember my mother doing it, it's spots and stains. How do I get stains out of clothing? How do I get stains out of carpeting? And some reporter had asked me, well, if that's the #1 question, does that mean that we're a nation of slobs? And I said, well, who knows, you know? But what we're going to show first is, now we're talking about washable fabrics, things that you take care of at home. Not something that is silk that you take to the dry cleaner or very expensive wool suit or cashmere. Those kind of garments, it's really worth it to take it to a professional. Because with silks, if you take and put the stain remover on a cloth and rub back and forth, you may get the stain out, but it actually breaks the fibers. And so that, like men in their ties, I see men in restaurants and they get something on it and they dip in the cloth in the water and they go, right? And two things. One, they're breaking the fibers, so the stain may be gone, but it's going to look spotted. And if you use a white napkin to dip into water, many times there's still a residue of bleach. You know how white the napkins are in restaurants? In the napkin, and they do this on silk, and it'll be faded. So it's really better to preventive, when the tie is brand new, or you've just had it cleaned, spray it with fabric protector 5 or 6 times. It won't change the color. I do this on my spray it, let it dry, spray it, let it dry. Then if something drops on it, it comes off pretty easily.
You know what really tickles me? Have you seen those clips that are like little bars that go on a man's tie?
Oh, aren't they cute?
And they pull down a plastic shield off of it and clip it to the bottom of the tie. It's a tie protector. Would you be mortified if you were a man and you were given that as a gift by your wife? It's like, you are such a slob. I've got to give you plastic sheeting to go over your tie.
I have to tell you, though, I mean, I'm on book tour. I'm in a different city every day. I've been on an airplane. I've seen 3 men with those on the airplane.
Do they really?
Use them. And I thought, why don't they just, which is a smart hint, I've seen men flip their tie back. Well, on an airplane. All right, now I wouldn't, if I were in a restaurant with my husband and he did it, I'd get up and leave, you know. But flip their tie back or tuck it in the shirt. But I thought, I guess people really use that. Anyway, on to stain. All right. Let's see, where is our, oh good, we have an overhead. All right, see there's the ballpoint ink stain. Now, you can use several things to remove ballpoint ink. There are about 10 types of ink on the market, so this works on about 8 or 9 of them. One is rubbing alcohol, one is aerosol or type hairspray. Now, the reason the hairspray works is it's the alcohol in it that works. The most important thing is, and I'm going to show you on half of this what not to do. This is, and people hear, hairspray, alcohol, I know what to do. And they spray the stain, and all it does is it makes it spread. Except under these lights, it's drying the alcohol, the hairspray too quickly. What you're supposed to do is, as I did, there's an absorbent cloth underneath, paper toweling, all right, and then you put the rubbing alcohol or the hairspray on the toweling and dab at it like this. Now, this doesn't work instantly. It doesn't work in a matter of 3 seconds. We're a nation of, I want it quick, I want it now. But with time, you'll see that it starts coming through the backing. This is why it's important to put the absorbent pad underneath.
Right.
And so you keep removing it, see it's coming up here, and work at it that way. Then take straight liquid detergent that you wash your laundry with, rub it into the stain, scrub it with a little toothbrush, or do this. Remember how Grandma used to do that? And then put it into the washer and dryer, and it will come out. See, most of us think, well, it's supposed to happen immediately. I want to spray it on, have it be gone. Or you throw it into the washer and you don't pre-treat it. And pre-treating is very important. The old-fashioned, let's see, should we ask whose shirt this is?
I don't know whose shirt it is.
Don't claim, don't claim. Ring around the collar, ring around the collar. Gee, Mr. Wilson, you have ring around the collar. That commercial, he glares at his wife.
I know. How could you let me go out the door with this?
One of these days, my dream is she's going to look up at him sweetly and say, well, wash your neck, you dirty slob.
Oh!
Now,
that does not promote marital harmony, but then neither does the glare.
Neither does the glare, all right? So, for ring around the collar, hopefully we talk people into washing their necks, all right? And everyone says,
Plan A.
No, I shower 3 times a day, but how often do you scrub the back of your neck the way you did when you were a 7-year-old grandmother? And the way you trick them is they say, oh no, I'm clean. Take rubbing alcohol, put it on a white facial tissue, rub across the back of the neck. I won't do it now. And you'll see because there are body oils back there. So that's the preventive one. If not, hair shampoo. You don't have to buy big commercial products. Hair shampoo is designed to break down body oils. So you simply put hair shampoo along here, scrub it in a little bit, let it sit, then put it into the washer and dryer, and that takes care of it. What do we have? Lipstick.
Okay, hold the thought. We're going to take a break and come right back. What will she do with the lipstick?
Lipstick
on their collars? I don't know. We'll take a break and come right back. Ladies, no matter how many times people tell you you look great, do you still hate your body? Are your thighs too fat, your tummy not flat enough, your hips too wide, in your opinion? If so, if you're suffering from poor body image, give us a call at 244-4447. That's 244-4447 if you're tired of what you're seeing when you look in the mirror.
Allegheny General, exploring the frontier within.
In patients with neurologic conditions such as stroke, Alzheimer's disease, or head trauma, related psychiatric problems often interfere with rehabilitation or the ability to function in daily life. At Allegheny Neuropsychiatric Institute, we assess and treat the emotional and behavioral aspects of neurological conditions. Using sophisticated neuropsychological testing, advanced brain imaging, and thorough behavioral evaluations, we can generally pinpoint the nature of the psychiatric disturbance. We then can recommend specific, targeted treatments. By addressing these behavioral disturbances, we can help patients with neurological conditions to function better at home or work, or to benefit more from rehabilitation efforts.
Ask your doctor for more information or call Allegheny General for a free brochure. Allegheny General, on the frontier of advanced specialty care.
Aren't these beautiful and healthy? You want to keep your plants beautiful and healthy? When you bring them home and plant them, give them just a little spice in their life. Put a pinch of Epsom salts into the soil. It deepens the color, it thickens the foliage, and it increases root structure. After all, the roots of their feet are going to be standing on them all summer. On top of that, you know what? It's Flower Week at Kmart, and they get a terrific selection. They get annuals and perennials, flowering shrubs, and beautiful roses. And they're on sale, and that's about the best tip I could give you.
When the stranger brought that bullseye, a showdown was a brewing. There was open pit, hunts, and masterpiece, all trying to outdo him. But as the sweet smoke rose from the grill, the stranger showed his best. Knowing once folks tried that big, bold taste, that bullseye'd stand the test. And throughout the land, every woman and man marveled at the feat.
In showdown after showdown, bullseye can't be beat.
The big, bold taste of bullseye can't be beat.
A tire fire in Washington County, the story at noon.
You can clean wallpaper by rubbing it with white bread?
Everyone loves that one. It's appalling, isn't it? Because we're
Not
eating
vinyl
this stuff.
wallpaper, regular paper?
Yeah, and what it does is it takes the dirt and the dust off, and the white bread is gummy. It's almost like an art gum eraser, you know, that you press into it, and same thing for shoes. But what I keep thinking is, we're eating this stuff?
I know.
If it cleans wallpaper and shoes, what does it do to my stomach?
What does it do, take black marks off of shoes?
Yeah, because it's gummy. You know how white bread you can go and it stays together, it's all mushy, and it's like an art gum eraser.
Kids figure that out very quickly when they're little, you know, and they start balling up the bread.
Exactly.
All right, stains, lipstick.
Stains. We left with lipstick on my collar, your collar. All right, again, washable clothing. The things that remove lipstick are rubbing alcohol, and we have a cloth underneath, and it takes a while, but you start dabbing at it, rub lightly, but not too much, because if you do this, all right, it spreads it, you'll see that it starts pulling it up. It takes a little work. The other thing that people ask about all the time is blood stains, is how to get blood out of clothing. Now, particularly white and light colored clothes, you can use hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide, you have to be careful because it's a bleaching agent. So if you pour it on like that, you'll see that it starts to bubble up, then you rinse it in cold water, and that'll take the blood away.
Wow.
If it's clothes that are not white or might be bleached by the hydrogen peroxide, instant or regular, non-seasoned meat tenderizer. And meat tenderizer does what to meat? It breaks down the protein, and that's what blood does. That's what blood is, so it's an enzyme. So you wet the area, pour the meat tenderizer on it like that, let it sit a while, and you'll see that it starts to pull up the blood and rinse it away. The most important thing to do is to get to a stain immediately. Try home-style remedies first. You want to use the least aggressive, meaning cold water first, then laundry detergent, then go on to cleaning agents. Then if you can't get it out and it's impossible, you simply embroider a flower over it.
Ah, right here.
Grass stains in pants and like on tennis shoes. Say good white tennis shoes, you get grass stains on them, or on your pants.
Oh, you're asking? Well, I thought you were going to share a hint with me.
No.
Okay.
I'd like to know how to get them out.
Yeah, they really are. They're tough to remove, especially the tennis shoes. Now, the tennis shoes, some can be washed in the washing machine, some can't. But the main thing is to make a paste of laundry detergent or dishwasher detergent, the powdered stuff that you wash dishes with. It has a little bleach in it, and it has a cleaning agent on a toothbrush. and make it wet, scrub it on, let it sit about 5 minutes, rinse it off, and that should take care of it.
That's on white, but would you put
on white? You can use it on other colors, but you have not something that is, I wouldn't use it on green silk or a bright red, because the dishwasher detergent does have some chlorine in it, and it may bleach things out, but on whites it's wonderful.
Right here.
How about egg on a tie, Heloise?
Oh, you don't have one of those tie shields either?
You don't have a tie shield? Well, it's better than egg on your face, right? As in like scrambled eggs, or?
No, overlight.
Overlight, I
love it. Sunny side up, I don't know. All right, the main thing is to use a clean cloth, not a white napkin that may have bleach in it, and water first, club soda second, and then you can make a foam of liquid laundry detergent, liquid hand washing detergent that you wash dishes with. Put a squirt or two in a bowl and beat it up, and there'll be foam on the top, or suds. Take that on a sponge, pat it on the tie, and lightly, not real hard, but dab at it, then rinse, and usually that'll take care of it. But
Right
there's
here.
some things that can't be removed.
How do you get cat odor out of a carpet?
You don't. Okay. All right, the thing
That's
is...
the bad
That's
news.
the bad news. I mean, you can work at it. What happens is when a cat or dog, I always love how they say, has an accident, they know what they're doing. All right, is that if you don't get to it immediately, the urine goes through the carpeting onto the padding. There are 2 layers. This is the carpet on top. This is the padding underneath. So no matter how many times you clean the top, the urine is still on the padding. So you have to do one of 2 things. You can either pull the carpeting up and clean that padding, or cut out a square where the padding has been stained and the urine is, and replace it. If you cannot pull the carpeting up, about the only thing you can do is mask the odor. And the way to do it, and it sounds bizarre, but I've done this, is you either take like a hypodermic needle or something like that, and use room deodorizer, cologne, perfume, sometimes even rubbing alcohol. And at veterinary supplies, they sell supposedly an enzyme thing that's supposed to eat it up. And you actually go through the carpeting into the padding. Now don't over wet it, because then you'll have the mildew smell. But this eventually masks the odor.
Wow, that's aggressive, isn't it? Ann from Apollo, good morning to you. Ann, are you with us? Where'd you go? Call back. Sandy from Pittsburgh, good morning. Sandy?
Pet and baby formula stains out of...
Hold on now. Are you Sandy or Ann?
Sandy.
Sandy.
Yeah.
Sandy, speak up and start from the beginning. We're just having a little bit of a problem here this morning.
Yes, Heloise, I need to know how to get set-in baby formula stains out of my baby's clothing. I tried soaking in Cascade and using spraying wash, but nothing will get it out.
Well, those are one of the most impossible stains to remove. Now, the thing that you can use, if they are white and light colored clothes, if they're highly vibrant colors, it's probably not a good idea, is to use powdered dishwasher detergent like you did, but you add a little laundry detergent and about a 1/4 cup of bleach. Mix this up in hot water, about a gallon or 2. Put the clothes in, let them sit for 5 to 10 minutes. That's all that it takes. Soaking any longer won't make the stain come out. And then you have to rinse them very well. But it's the combination of powdered dishwasher detergent, which has a cleaning agent, does have a little bleach in it, a little bit of bleach, and your regular laundry detergent. You want to be sure now. I'm usually very cautious about telling people to mix cleaning products, because you don't want to mix bleach with anything that has ammonia in it, because it will cause a poisonous gas. But laundry detergent does not have ammonia in it, and most dishwashing detergents do not either, so you're safe.
Okay. How about what's up there in front of you now?
I was going to have lunch. No. These are, again, this is a home-style remedy, all right? Something that's environmentally safe and good for the environment. That I have a little puppy who used to chew on the leaves of my plants. And there are some plants that are very poisonous, so you have to be careful. And one way to solve the problem is to take chili peppers, and put them in a blender with water, mix them up, and you can spray the plants like this, all right? And it's hot there, so when the little cat or dog goes, lump, or, I know, it only took one time. Of course, being from Texas, use hot sauce, all right, and this stuff is hot. And it doesn't burn the leaves. I mean, you just dab at it a little bit. And the same thing, when the cat or dog touches it for the first time, it burns their little tongue, and they hopefully are smart enough to figure out not to come
All
back.
of our palm plants are all chewed back. You know how palm leaves are supposed to be real long? James and Dolly are in there munching all day long. They're like little lawnmowers.
And if you have a problem with my precious little miniature schnauzer kept trying to bury her doggy bones in my big potted plants, I go in the morning and think, we don't have moles in the house. There'd be this little pile of dirt, and there'd be this bone. A way that's supposed to keep them away is to do the hot sauce and actually just place 1 or 2 cotton balls with hot sauce around the perimeter of the plant, or citrus rinds. Cats supposedly don't like citrus rinds. Okay?
It's a rubber knife. We did it just to give you a hard time.
And you can slice these and again lay them on top of the soil, and the smell keeps them away.
Got it.
See, I was going to show you. Let's see. Oh, it smells so good. It's so nice. Oh, I'm sorry. What? Rolling right along. 2 important things. We're talking about recycling and reuse. All right. Recycling means to take something like newspapers to a recycling center or glass, and they break it down, reprocess it, and make it into something else. Reuse is to use it a second or third time.
Hold on a second. Let's take a break, and we'll come back and pick up right there in just a moment, because we all have these things around the house. And what do we do with them next? We'll find out in a moment. Would you like to be part of our studio audience? Well, it's really easy. All you have to do is give us a call at 244-4447 to reserve your free tickets. That's 244-4447. If you'd like to join us here at Pittsburgh's Talking, call now.
Please stand by for an important message for all senior citizens.
In November of 1989, the Medicare catastrophic bill was repealed by Congress. Now, many seniors who have Medicare supplement insurance are confused about what their policy will or will not cover.
With the government making all these changes, I really don't know how good my coverage is.
I was shocked to find out that my rates went up and my benefits went down.
The Association of Retired Americans, a nonprofit organization for seniors, is making a free Medicare supplement comparison available to anyone over age 64. This is a free comparison with absolutely no cost or obligation.
We want to be sure that we're covered as well as we can be.
It's hard to keep up with all the changes in Medicare.
An ARA representative will explain how the repeal of the catastrophic bill affects your existing Medicare supplement policy, and will compare your policy to others that are available today.
Finally, I'll be able to see if my policy is good or not.
If I can get better coverage and save money too, I want to know about it.
Eliminate the guesswork. Make sure you've got the proper coverage and that you're not paying too much for your coverage. For your free comparison, we urge you to call the toll-free number on your screen. This is a service of the Association of Retired Americans. For your free comparison, with no obligation, call now.
Call me now, and I'll make sure you get your free Medicare supplement comparison from the Association of Retired Americans. You owe it to yourself to find out if you've got the proper coverage. Remember, the information is free, and so is the phone call. All you need to do is dial the toll-free number on your screen.
Let's remind you that Heloise is in town for a celebration of women 1990 at the Convention Center downtown, Friday and Saturday. That's today and tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And Heloise will be speaking today at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Tickets are $5 and may be purchased at the door. Heloise, what are you doing up there?
Hi. Oh, I'm just playing. I'm talking about reusing. Okay, reuse is to use something a second or third time. At present, there are only a few recycling centers for plastics.
That's right.
Newspapers we can recycle, aluminum, glass, but there are not that many, and they're working on it. So in the meantime, we have to think of ways to reuse plastic, because this stuff does not break down. And I'm trying to explain to people that I grew up in the city and lived in an apartment all my life, and you put all the trash in a little bag and you either dump it at the dumpster or you put it out by the curb and it goes away.
Right.
You know, you don't think of where it goes.
But
Well,
if you ever walk through a landfill, it breaks your heart.
Researching this book, I said, all right, I want to go see, one, the odor is horrendous, and you just see what looks like acres and acres of things, and particularly plastics and things that don't break down. So we want to reuse them. Plastic gallon jugs that milk, etc., come in, and these are fantastic. Now, what I was just doing here, oh, and there's still water inside, all right, is that it fits this way. All right, so we've cut it off like this. Now it has a handle to carry, and I filled this with bird seed to sprinkle for the outside birds. We use it as scoops. You can cut it more like this and use it as a scoop for dog food out in the garden, etc., etc. It's
a great idea.
This side can be as a funnel. All right, you can use it as a funnel. Do you like that one?
Yeah.
And then when we travel, I cut them off about this length, and these are disposable dog dishes. My little dog must go with us, of course. And she has to, you know, disposable dog dishes. Now the plastic liter and 2 liter things that soft drink come in really have tons and tons of uses. Most of them are like this, that this plastic top or bottom comes off, and it has 3 pieces of glue on it, all right? And you'll see it, you'll see the holes in here. Excuse me, these are 4. And they shoot the glue through. So to get this off, you soak this in hot water, and then it will come off. If you try and pry it off with scissors, forget it. All right, this, I love these. This is what I start my seedlings in. All right, it has drain holes in it for the water.
Oh,
You
that's
put a few
terrific.
little thingies in the bottom, start my seedlings. When they grow, you simply take the scissors, cut the side, peel it back, replant them. Again, dog dish, that kind of thing. Kids love to play with them. They make hats. Or actually, as someone said, well, gee, this part we could be, no. And then these, all right, now see, this won't stand up by itself. So if you're going to use this part of it, obviously you want to keep this. But to cut these off, put them in the fridge with a little bit of water to keep celery, carrots, onions crisp, things like that. They can be used to store leftovers in the refrigerator. My philosophy is I'm asking people to use things one more time. All right, I'm not saying save everything and have your house look like clutter. All right, you want to keep things that have an intended use. So if you use things one more time before throwing it away, then you're doing a green hint. Cutting these off, you can actually store leftovers in this. All right, you can put this in the fridge. What's nice about it, and with glass jars, is it's clear. You know how you put leftovers in a little bowl and you put a lid on it and you put foil on it and it ends up in the back of the refrigerator and 3 months later you're growing penicillin? This will prevent that because you can see through and see, oh yeah, I've got leftover veggies or carrots or spaghetti or something. And of course, kids love to play with them. These make, this way, wonderful floaties in the pool. We have a little lake house and we have an area where we have it marked off. Put the lid on tight, tie it, and it's a bobber and it's a floaty, and it marks off the area that we use as a swimming hole.
Got it, right here. When you buy an article at the store and there's a little price tag on there.
Don't you hate them?
It's terrible. I can never get that all off.
It's so gummy.
What do you do?
I use nail polish remover myself, but only if I think it won't take out the color. But on most things, like if it's plastic or something and it's clear, nail polish remover will dissolve it.
Exactly. That's why you have to be careful with the nail polish remover, because on some plastics it will mar the finish and make it cloudy. The best thing is to use something that's oily. You can use petroleum-based pre-wash spray or just regular vegetable oil. And all you do is put it over the label, let it sit for a few minutes, and the oil makes the adhesive get real gummy and it'll come right off.
No kidding.
If there's a little adhesive left, then you put a little bit more on, or take a nylon net scrubby or some salt and put it on and rub it, and it makes it all come off. And that's really good to use on plastic products that the nail polish may scratch. And of course, here's one of my pet peeves. Why do they always put the label right over the directions?
Oh, yeah.
You know? And you're in the store going, and you pick up another package, or the directions, or in my case, it's always over the calorie and fat content. They don't want me to buy this, I know.
Right here. On the bottom of your tub, when you have decals or rubber strips to keep from slipping, and they get, you know, after a couple of years, they get soiled around after scarring, you want to take them out, put new down. How do you get the adhesive off the bottom of the tub?
2 things, heat and oil. Heat from either filling it with real extremely hot water, or hot water from the kettle, Or the best way is to take newspapers or brown paper bag or aluminum foil. I know this sounds crazy, and you put them over the strip and you put your iron on about medium to medium high and do this.
And iron the bathtub.
Or if you have a steam gun or a hot gun.
Do I have you right? And
Yes.
we iron the bathtub?
You were ironing the bathtub today. My husband, you're doing what? No, David, it takes and what it does is the heat causes the adhesive to get gummy. And then you can take scissors or a little knife and very carefully scrape the edge and pull it up. You can spray it with pre-washed spray that is petroleum-based. That will cause the adhesive to get gummy. And then the last step, because some of that adhesive stays, is to sprinkle it with cornstarch, salt, powdered detergent, something dry, and use the sponge this way, and it'll come off.
Could we take a camera to your house as you start ironing the bathtub? I would just like to see it.
That'd be nice.
I know. We won't tell a soul, okay? It'll be our secret.
But actually, they have heat guns and things that you can rent now that probably really work a lot better because the heat is a lot more. The way you remove wallpaper.
Don't set the bathtub on fire. Good gracious, how could you ever explain that?
You'd have to watch any water that might be in the tub drips.
Yeah,
if you have the iron.
Well, you want to be real careful. Obviously, be sure the water is turned off and there's no chance that you're going to get electrocuted.
Right.
I can see the headlines. Woman
Heloise
dies ironing her tub.
Yeah, I know. Let's take a break. We're back in a moment. Join us Monday when the queen of predictions, Jean Dixon, will try to forecast your future. Everything you might want to know. Questions about your family life to your career. She also has a few surprises for some very special Pittsburghers. That's Jean Dixon, Monday at 10.
Even round here, when folks started worrying about cholesterol, breakfast got kinda lean. But now the rich, hearty breakfast is back. Folks are pouring on a fresh, creamy taste with no cholesterol. Now there's Farm Rich Non-Dairy Breakfast Creamer. Farm Rich tastes fantastic on flakes, beautiful on berries, creamy in coffee with no cholesterol. Farm Rich Non-Dairy Breakfast Creamer. A fresh, creamy taste with no cholesterol.
Don't you just love the sun? It feels so good on your skin. And now with Almay's new sun care, you can be good to your skin in the sun. Sun care that's skin care. That's Almay. Fragrance-free, the way you want it. Hypoallergenic, softening, soothing, PABA-free, and alcohol-free too. In oil-free and moisturizing formulas for your type of skin. Almay Sun Care, just in time for summer.
Hi, I'm Joe DiNardo. WTAE-TV and the Salvation Army are gearing up for the 4th annual Project Bundle Up auction, and we need merchandise. If you're a retailer or have a service to offer, please consider making a donation to the Bundle Up auction. Everybody benefits. You receive valuable exposure on WTAE-TV, and the needy receive protection from the cold. To donate an item, please call our auction hotline at 394-4848.
All right, we have 5 copies of Heloise's new book, Heloise Hints for a Healthy Planet. If you call us right now, 412 if you're outside the city, 333-9999. First 5 callers get copies of Heloise's book. Call now, and by the time the show is over, I promise you all of the books are given away.
And I'm going to autograph
Stop
them.
Calling. People who call for a long, long time, like days they call, and say, haven't been able to get through. Did I win a book? Nope. They go real fast. So if you don't get through before the end of the show, they're all gone. Stop calling. Right here.
A white rayon blouse that has already been washed.
And has what on it?
Makeup. Liquid makeup.
Oh, okay. Washed in hot water and put in the dryer?
Yes.
I love these questions. All right, it's not hopeless. Maybe. I mean, the thing is, once it goes through the washer, if you wash in hot water and through the dryer on high heat, that sets most stains. But what you have to do is really work at it. Either straight liquid laundry detergent into the stain, scrub it with a toothbrush. Possibly, if it's white, you can use hydrogen peroxide. That may, because hydrogen peroxide is a bleaching agent, and that may bleach it out. And then the final resort would be probably powdered dishwasher detergent again, which has bleach and a cleaning agent in it. And I hope that works. But rayon is a difficult material to deal with. It is. I mean, I love it, but there are certain properties to it that sometimes, once there's even a water spot, you pick up your glass of iced tea and drip on it, that is a stain that the dry cleaners can't remove. So when you're buying rayon, be sure that hopefully it's either washable or easily dry cleanable.
Oh, Joanne from New Stanton, good morning to you.
Yeah, Heloise, I unfortunately did not check pockets and washed and then dried blue and green crayon that got all over all
Yowzer, over the whole laundry?
The whole load?
That's it. How do you get that out?
Well, do you have a couple weeks?
I know, I've been trying.
Well, you could start a new artsy look.
Yeah, I was going to
tell them it was your own
the way
creation.
fashions are today. No, I mean, it can be done, but you have to work at it. Two things, okay? That a crayon is wax and color. So a lot of times if you put paper toweling underneath and on top, put an iron on medium, and you can try and iron it, you'll see that it may pull the color up. That works. Or you have to spray or pour straight liquid laundry detergent or petroleum-based pre-wash spray into the fabric. And you have to put it on, rub it with your fingers or scrub it with a toothbrush, do the underneath side, then wash it in warm water and see if that takes it. It may take 5 or 6 times. Because what happens is the fibers are like this. They're interwoven. So just scrubbing the top doesn't get it out from underneath and in between. So sometimes several washings are required.
Good luck.
And you learn
Roxanne from Latrobe, good morning to you.
Good morning. I have a question about rust stains on fabric. I have a tendency to let things lay in the washer and then you get a nice rust stain and it can't be removed.
Okay, first, one way to prevent it is there are probably nicks on the inside of the washing machine. And the way you can feel it is put an old nylon pantyhose or stocking over your hand and put your hands inside and rub it around like this, and if there's a nick there, it'll catch. And then you know that's what's causing the problem. There is it's like an epoxy that you can buy at appliance stores that you cover over the nick, and it'll prevent the problem from happening. However, to address your situation, first and foremost, most people think of rust as being a color so they can use bleach to take it out. Do not do that, or don't even use hydrogen peroxide, because bleach and hydrogen peroxide will accelerate the rust stain and you'll never get it out. The old-fashioned remedies are lemon and salt and putting it out in the sun. Cut a lemon in half, put a salt on the stain, put a little lemon juice on it, put it out in the sun on the grass, and it's something to do with the chlorophyll in the grass and the sun and the salt, and that works. And then there are commercial rust removers on the market, but most of them have a bleaching agent in it. It's not chlorine. I mean, it sounds confusing. That work very well. So if you've got a large problem, then you may want to go to a commercial product.
We're going to go to a commercial right now, and we'll be back in a moment to wrap things up with Heloise.
This Saturday, 7 p.m., Supus Ford and Power 92 present the rescheduled opening night at Jennerstown Speedway. The Beckwith Machinery late models, Giant Auto Parts Valvoline 4-cylinders, and Banquet Street Stocks will all be in action. The gates open at 4:30 with racing at 7 p.m. And coming during the 1990 season is a chance for you, the race fan, to win big money in the Banquet Frozen Foods Pick 5 contest. So gear up for the 90s. This Saturday, 7 p.m., when Supus Ford and Power 92 present opening night at Jennerstown Speedway.
I'm Alan Offstein of Furniture Galleries. Come visit us now during our Barcalounger special order sale. Choose this Barcalounger recliner in any fabric and pay only $2.99. Or this recliner in your favorite upholstery at just $3.99. Or select this top-of-the-line Barcalounger in hundreds of fabrics, including leather, for an incredible $4.99. Incredible choices, incredible savings on America's finest recliner. And remember, we deliver anywhere. Furniture Galleries, Route 8, 15 minutes north of the Turnpike.
McGee Women's Hospital presents a Celebration of Women 1990, an event to celebrate our achievements as we prepare for our role in the future.
A final 10-second tip from Heloise. It is
10-second tip for children to recycle. All right, comic papers, wrap packages in them. The dailies that are black and white, give them crayons. Whoops.
And let them color the cartoons.
Color them in.
Oh, Heloise, you are a clever one. We want to thank you so much for joining us again and recognizing our audience, the East McKeesport Century Club. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, too. We'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.
Guests on Pittsburgh's Talking stay at the beautiful newly renovated Hyatt Pittsburgh. Transportation provided by Elegant Limousines of Pittsburgh. Ann Devlin's wardrobe courtesy of Kaufman's through the personal shopping service. Hair care by Griff's Hair Salon in Shadyside.
Pool City is kicking off summer with our Pool and Patio Park grand opening and a giant 5-day-only double your money sale. You give us $25 down on any 5-piece patio set, we'll make it $50. Give us $50 down on any pool, we'll make it $100. Give us $250 on many deck pools and spas, and we'll make it $500 down. You'll get free pirate tickets with a gas grill and incredible bargains like a giant 30 by 15-foot Newport pool for just $9.99. The double your money sale at Pool City.
The insurance people call it a slip and fall, an innocent-sounding name for serious injuries. Injuries caused by a wet, slippery floor, an uneven sidewalk, ice, or snow. If you've suffered this type of injury, call the Tri-State Legal Connections Accident Hotline. You may be entitled to a substantial cash settlement. An attorney who concentrates in personal injury cases will fight to help you get what's fair. Call the Accident Hotline, 800-333-0992.
If you think that drugs are cool and that everybody's doing them, you're wrong.
For information, call 1-800-223-DARE.
This is WTAE 4 News.
Good morning. Here are some of the stories making headlines at this hour in the WTAE 4 newsroom. What's left of a 10-alarm fire, a tire fire, is still smoldering in Amity, Amwell Township in Washington County. Officials say thousands of tires were engulfed in flames about 3 this morning. Some residents in the area suffering from breathing problems were asked to leave the area. A tractor trailer was used to separate burning lumps of tires while firefighters poured water on the blaze. Officials are calling the fire suspicious. They're conducting an investigation. Another investigation is underway in Murraysville after officials discovered about 70 tombstones overturned and smashed in a cemetery on North Hills Road. Police believe vandals trashed the cemetery over the weekend. Damage estimates are up to $8,000. Among the many graves damaged was the burial monument of Jeremiah Murray, the founder of Murraysville. 28-year-old Paul Thompson of Springdale is being sentenced in a downtown courtroom at this hour. Thompson was convicted in the strangulation murder of Patricia Drennan. Last year, her body was discovered wrapped in carpet in the basement of Thompson's apartment building. Entertainer Sammy Davis Jr. will be buried today in Hollywood, California. Yesterday, thousands of fans and friends paid their respects by filing past Sammy's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Hundreds stopped to write their feelings on a scroll near his star. The funeral is expected to be attended by such celebrities as Frank Sinatra, Michael Jackson, Gregory Hines. The Reverend Jesse Jackson is the scheduled speaker. Christian Brando, the son of actor Marlon Brando, will be arraigned later today on murder charges. Police say Brando shot his half-sister's boyfriend fatally. The attorney for the younger Brando says his client may have killed the man in self-defense. Police say an argument broke out between the two over the boyfriend's treatment of Brando's sister, Cheyenne. Marlon Brando was home at the time of the shooting, but he told investigators he didn't see it happen. Now, let's take a look at Joe DiNardo's weather. Today, partly sunny, windy, a high of 66 degrees. Tonight, fair and cool. Diminishing winds, and that's good news, and a low of 44. Tomorrow, increasing cloudiness with scattered showers at night and a high of 70 degrees. That's it for now. We'll also have sports and weather coming up today, right here on WTAE 4 News.
Do you want simply the best summer ever? Get HBO. Drop in on friends. Catch some rays. Strengthen family ties. Simple to get. How, dude? Call this number. Getting a great offer couldn't be simpler. What's the offer? Not now. You want more movies and Cinemax. And fill your summer with the most movies on paid TV. That calls for a phone call. Hey, dude, what's the offer? Later. Catch the cable wave and get all the variety of cable TV. Get cable TV, HBO, and Cinemax for simply the best summer ever.
But what's the offer?
Oh, have I been remiss?
Call 1-800-HBO-1705 and get basic cable installed free and HBO or Cinemax for just $6.95 a month through September 30th. Plus, get a discount booklet worth up to $300 in savings. Call 1-800-HBO-1705 for this offer from TCI Cable.
So call now. What could be simpler, right? This.
America's healthcare system is failing. Hospitals are spending millions on the latest high-tech equipment, while 1 out of every 6 Americans can't afford to use it.
And for all the money we spend, we still can't serve 37 million people. That's incredible in this country.
Keeping up with the high price of staying healthy, will it take a bigger bite out of your next paycheck? Rising health costs, the bitter pill. A WTAE 4 News extra report tonight at 6 on WTAE 4 News. The time has come for Project Earth.
At Play School, we know kids love our busy boxes, so we made our new one more fun with 2 balls that bump all the way through.
Who put the bump in the bumpin' busy box? Who put the peek in the peekity peek? Who put the drop in the droppity droppity drop? Who put the pop in the popsy popsy pop? Who made it fun? Oh, Play School was the one. They made my baby's busy box go bump.
Play School's Bumpin' Busy Box.
Yeah.
The sounds, the sights of the music industry. You can be part of it in management, marketing, audio engineering, and video production. When you bring the Art Institute your enthusiasm, we match it with the skills the industry is looking for. You'll learn about the record business, producing and directing videos, promoting concerts, managing performers. Train at the Art Institute and be on your way in the music and video business. Call for our free booklet that shows you how. 1-800-647-3900. Call right now. 1-800-647-3900.
You're watching WTAE TV in Pittsburgh.
The length of a mother's stay in a hospital following the birth of a child. It's quickly becoming an insurer's decision in some people's point of view. So what happened to the mom and the baby in all these efforts at saving money and controlling costs? Good morning, I'm Ann Devlin, and that's what Pittsburgh's talking about right here on WTAE TV. Okay, so you woke up Mother's Day morning on a Sunday, and in the Pittsburgh Press, you saw an article that was headlined, "Out of the Hospital, Now What Do I Do?" And the article profiled women who gave birth and who were covered by the Health America Insurance Program, which is pioneering a new approach to deciding the time that a mother and child spend in the hospital following a normal delivery. And by normal, we'll have everybody explain what that medically means, but essentially it is without complications. Well, in subsequent days, there have been a raft of letters to the editor with people who had a lot to say about this policy. And doctors as well as mothers got in on this discussion. So this morning, we've moved the discussion from the pages of the editorial letters to right here in our studio. And we've assembled a panel of people to sit down and talk about this. And they really represent many different facets of the discussion. It's going to be a fascinating hour, and I'm glad they're all with us this morning. So I'll be quiet now with the introduction and start with the actual introduction of the guests. May I just introduce everyone, and then we can get right into this, okay? From left to right, Dr. Harold Glick, who is a private practice pediatrician in the Pittsburgh area, who is an independent contractor with Health America, has accepted Health America maternity patients in the past, but has some real questions about this. Sitting next to him, Cindy Haney-Falk, who wrote one of the letters to the editor regarding complications in the health of her 2 babies that she delivered within the last 2 years in the Pittsburgh area. Dr. Harlan Giles, who is chairman, professor of the OB department at Allegheny General Hospital, and says he's kind of middle of the road on this whole approach to shortening the stays of mothers in the hospital. C. Michael Blackwood, who is the president and CEO of Health America, an HMO of Western Pennsylvania, and who essentially has been telling us for the last 36 hours that he doesn't feel he has had an opportunity to get out Health America's side of the story. So You're going to knock your socks off this morning. It's your chance. And sitting next to him, Barbara McNulty, who is a physician and the chief of pediatrics for Health America. And along with other Health America doctors, designed and implemented the maternity policies. For those people who are not familiar with what exactly is going on here and what the changes are, to Dr. McNulty or Michael, one of you please explain what you're pioneering here in the Pittsburgh area.
Well, first of all, I would say it may be pioneering in this area, but I want to make it clear that this is not something new in the country. In fact, I have reviewed articles as far back as 1970 where it's been done successfully in California. But to discuss what we've done here, this program has evolved over the years. Many years ago, we instituted a 48-hour discharge program. And at that point, we decided to have a nurse visit after the delivery of the mother, and the mother, when she was at home, would be visited and examined by a nurse who is in the area of OB and pediatric care. The nurse would also evaluate the baby thoroughly, often spending several hours in the home. And we had done that successfully for many years and had had no difficulties with that. During that time, we had some volunteers among the mothers who really wanted to go home at 24 hours, some even earlier than that. So we started thinking about that issue and wondering, would that be safe? And
these were the mothers saying they wanted to go home.
The mothers or the families were interested in shortening their stay. And we made it voluntary at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I and the rest of my colleagues were curious about what is actually found in the literature, so I did explore that issue and found that there has not been any problem with discharging babies as early as 12 hours sometimes. I agree that the first 24 hours is an important time of observation, and I prefer that the baby be in the hospital during that time. And we have set into place a very strong and very structured program.
Hold on, though. I need to interrupt you. What are you doing now? What started in March?
Well, we are having discharges between 24 and 36 hours. Rarely for normal, low-risk obstetrical patients and their babies.
Okay.
That means they are going home from after the time of delivery. Generally, it is rarely at 24 hours. It is usually 30 to 36 hours, which is really not that much different than what we were doing at 48 hours.
Michael Blackwood, why did you decide that you could step up the discharge of these low-risk, normal delivery mothers?
Dr. McNulty and the other physicians in the plan had reviewed this thoroughly and had looked at other areas of the country, for instance, St. Louis, Minneapolis, Boston, Denver, as well as California, Oregon, and Washington, where this is relatively a commonplace activity. The literature review, medical literature review, seemed to show there was no increase in either problems with the babies or with the mothers. We believe that it could be a cost-effective approach, but most especially, a lot of mothers actually want to go home as soon as possible, as soon as reasonable.
But
we want to be able to accommodate that.
Let me give you the hypothetical. I deliver a baby, I'm in your plan, which I'm not. So don't anybody think that I'm putting you on the spot. In the hypothetical, I deliver the baby, no complications. I'm a low-risk mother, I'm in your plan. 36 hours. Do I have a choice? Do I get to say to that doctor, but I don't want to go home in 36 hours?
Well, sure. I mean, we want to take the mother's view and the family's view directly into consideration. As before this decision is ever made, it's made in conjunction with the medical staff, with the physician.
If a mother says, I don't want to go home, does she get to stay, but at her own expense?
What we will do is review to see if there's a medical indication for the mother to remain, or the baby to remain.
So it's got to be premised on a medical circumstance.
That is the basis for the program, but there are other factors that have to be considered. For instance, the home environment.
You know what they're saying, Michael Blackwood. They're saying that you all are about saving bucks.
I know.
And it has nothing to do with mothers or babies or their wishes.
Right.
It has to do with saving bucks.
Let me just address that very clearly. The length of stay, by the way, for the plan for normal vaginal deliveries is about 2.2 days right now and has been for about 3 years. We expect that this program, even when it's full-blown, would not reduce the length of stay of that total length of stay by more than 0.4 of a day. So we're talking about moving the total length of stay for normal deliveries from about 2.3 to about 1.9 days. That's in terms of order of magnitude. Let's get that in place. So, but here's the story. When a patient is discharged early, there are additional costs which can be incurred. You have to pay for the registered nurses who come into the home to review the status of mother and baby, perhaps even 2 reviews, follow-up visits to the pediatricians. There are, in fact, additional costs which might not be present if the mother were staying longer. But the cost of a singular hospital day is so high.
What is it?
In Pittsburgh, it's over $1,000 a day.
So, is it money?
No, it's not. But there's another factor that must be considered here. The dollars involved are really not that dramatically different because...
Then why change it at all? Some people would say, you know, they are going to say that.
I know, because
and
they're not looking at the quality issues.
I want to read just a paragraph here from a letter that you wrote, I believe, to the newspaper in responding to their article.
That's right.
And what you're saying is that it's not money. But the bottom sentence here is to suggest that unjustified additional days in the hospital are acceptable, simply to permit visits from family, photo-taking sessions, or similar activities can neither be supported on the basis of quality nor cost.
That's right.
So you think that if they spend more than 36 hours in the hospital...
No. You understand that right now, only about 25% of the mothers who have delivered in Health America have been on this program. So you have to meet very stringent discharge criteria to even be considered for this program.
But essentially what you're saying is over 36 hours, if everything's normal and uncomplicated, it's kind of just like family time, and at $1,000 a day, this can be done at home.
Well, there's a couple of things. You know, hospitals, people are confusing the issue of rest with medical necessity. Nobody argues in Health America that the process of delivering a baby and the recovery is a very arduous task. Nobody argues that at all. What we are saying, though, that resting in a hospital may not be the best place to do it. And if there is a program at home, if there are supports at home, it may be better. Hospitals are very loud places, and they're not necessarily restful.
There are a lot of people in the medical community that I've spoken with in the last 24 hours, though, who say this is not about a mother just kicking back, putting up her feet in her fuzzy slippers and saying, bring on the bonbons, I'm sitting here taking pictures, but that there are real serious medical issues. I want to get to that point in just one moment. Let's bring in someone from home. Jenny from Penn Hills, good morning.
Hi, both of my sisters work with infants and OB, and they tell me most of the problems happen after the second day. And third, your breast milk doesn't come in for the third day. And I just want to know, who is making the decision? Is it a man who's doing this?
Well, you know, everybody's snickering here, but that was one sentiment expressed over and over again in these letters to the editor. Who are these men? Because no woman would decide this. Now, of course, doctor, and with all due respect to you, you feel that you've signed off on this and it's okay.
First of all, I'm a mother. I have 2 children.
How long were you in the hospital?
My children are 9 and 6. So
how long were you in the hospital?
I was in for 72 hours. I had medical complications that kept me in.
All right, could I go over to Dr. Glick? Dr. Glick, let us get to the notion of what happens here in these first 24, 36, 72 hours that concerns you for both the mother and the child.
Oh, there's so many mothers that are groggy 6, 8, 12, 15 hours after her first delivery. The first contact with a health professional is relatively worthless. She has not established any relationship whatsoever with her health professional. He or she then comes in the next morning and she's gone. She's out the door. She's had no anticipatory guidance by her health professional. She's established no rapport with a new doctor that she is presumably going to be with for 10, 15, 20 years down the road.
So in other words, you're the pediatrician and you think, I'm in here, I'm talking to this woman, she's recovering on medicine from the delivery, she's not even maybe going to remember what I'm talking to her about.
She's so frightened that we are convinced that this mother is not even going to breastfeed as much as she did before. In fact, in our early preliminary information that we have started to gather, it seems that fewer of these mothers are opting for breastfeeding. They're too frightened.
Because they
their
think
support services aren't there.
in the past, say 20 years ago, a woman delivered a baby, and this is another concern that's being raised, that this fits into a bit larger social context. 20 years ago, woman delivers a baby. Mom comes to stay. Maybe a mother-in-law comes to stay. Maybe grandma's even in the neighborhood and kicks in. Maybe the mother didn't work before she delivered that baby, or didn't work right up to the point where she was delivering that baby. She's better rested. So now, in 1990, for many women, that's not the case. Mom and grandma may be half a country away. She may have worked right up until the time she's delivered the baby. She may be exhausted. And then there are other issues that come into play here in terms of her readiness to accept this new role. Right? Is that what you're talking about, Dr. Glick, as well?
Yes.
I would like to interject. That's not our experience in Health America, in that we see just the baby just one time in the hospital. Indeed, there's Lamaze classes and health education classes. We have 4 hours of its structure and instruction on newborn care, which our parents attend. And they learn all about what a baby looks like, problems that they may encounter. We discuss breastfeeding, bottle feeding, circumcision, all of those issues during that time.
But discussing is one thing, some mothers would say.
That's not the end of it.
Having that real life
That's not the end
baby.
of it. Then we examine the baby at least 2 and often 3 times. We've arranged for our schedule so that we can go back to the hospital in the afternoon. We are happy to do that. We don't expect to make all the contact and discussion with the mother in the morning. Certainly I agree that after 12 hours, she's not ready to hear that information.
All right.
She needs to recover. We have the nurse visit in the home, which is really the best place for her to learn about the baby. She's now home with the baby. Usually this is about 12 hours from the time she's been discharged. She's ready and eager to obtain that information. That nurse does a bath demonstration with her. The nurse does breastfeeding with her. And
So you think you follow up with the nurse going to the home?
Yes, we have
Stand
at
by.
least
I've got to take a break here.
7 encounters with that mother.
I got to take a break, or the producer's going to come right down out of the control room and get both of us. When we come back, we're going to meet a mother who wrote this letter to the editor with some real concerns about what happened to her children when she was discharged from the hospital, things that she found out after she got home. We're coming back in just a moment.
It's Sun Carpet's 52nd anniversary sale. And to celebrate, we're giving you 52 big reasons to come to Sun Carpet now. Get up to 52% off select Galaxy carpets, as low as $8.99 a square yard. And because we're celebrating, Sun's also giving you free financing on hundreds of Galaxy carpets. At Sun Carpet, you can get the styles and colors you want. Act fast. Don't delay. Sun Carpet's 52nd anniversary sale ends soon. Hurry to the Sun Carpet nearest you for the biggest Galaxy carpet savings under the sun.
These days, comedy is hotter than ever. And on the next Entertainment Tonight, you'll get the inside story on some crazy comedians who will do almost anything for laughs.
There's stuff like that to get them to stop and watch the show.
See why there's nothing too ridiculous or too outrageous to put on the stage in front of an audience. It's comedy where anything goes, and the weirder it is, the better. Get the inside story only on the next Entertainment Tonight.
Tonight at 7:30 on WTAE TV.
This Saturday, it's the Gatling's AC Delco Twin 50s for the Beckwith Machinery late models at Jennerstown Speedway. The gates will open at 4:30 with racing at 7 p.m. Also included will be a complete program for the Giant Auto Valvoline 4-cylinders and Beckwith street stocks. Jennerstown's easy to find, located 10 miles east of Ligonier at the intersections of Route 30 and 985. And don't forget, race fans, coming during the 1990 season, it's a chance for you to win big money in the Beckwith Frozen Foods Pick 5 contest. That's this Saturday, 7 p.m. It's the Gatling's AC Delco Twin 50s for the Beckwith Machinery late models at Jennerstown Speedway.
Don't you just love the sun? It feels so good on your skin. And now with Almay's new sun care, you can be good to your skin in the sun. Sun care that's skin care. That's Almay. Fragrance free, the way you want it. Hypoallergenic, softening, soothing, PABA-free, and alcohol-free too. And oil-free and moisturizing formulas for your type of skin. Almay Sun Care, just in time for summer.
I want to introduce you now to a woman who wrote one of these letters to the editor and certainly got my attention as I was munching on breakfast. She wrote a letter that appeared 1 week after the original article in the Pittsburgh Press. Her name is, again, Cindy Haney-Falk, and she is a nurse from Ross. Cindy, instead of my reading your letter, why don't you just tell us the story?
Well, I have 3 children. I have an 8-year-old and a 16-month-old and a 4-month-old. And I was discharged to 48 hours with my first child, which probably was pioneering at that time, but we had no complications with that one. With the second 2, my son was discharged to myself at 48 hours. He was circumcised the morning of discharge and discharged a couple hours later. Later that evening at home, he began to hemorrhage, and we ended up back in the emergency room less than 12 hours after we were discharged for treatment of the hemorrhaging of the circumcision site. And that was something we weren't very happy about. With my daughter, we were discharged at 36 hours because we were uncomplicated delivery, and she and I were fine, we thought. And we found out when the visiting nurse came that she was sent home with an undiagnosed delivery-related fracture that needed to be treated by the doctor. So we, again, returned for treatment.
Okay, so what happens when you're a new mother and you have to go back to the hospital for treatment with the baby?
Well, if you have other children, you have to call people in the middle of the night and get babysitters, and you're not supposed to be driving yourself yet according to your OB's instructions, so you have to get somebody to drive you to the hospital or to the doctor's office, and you have somebody else watching your children at home. So it's a lot of extra stress and a lot of work when you're supposed to be having postpartum recovery.
You have
sitting at home with your feet up or whatever.
You have Health America coverage.
Yes, I do.
Your bottom line, from your personal experience, is what?
I think that if they're going to go with the 36-hour discharges and they're circumcising these children on that same day, it's same-day surgery on infants, they had better be careful about these follow-up complications. And the other thing is, my child that was in for 36 hours was seen by several doctors, and her fracture was not diagnosed at the hospital. And for me, I think that's just inexcusable.
And the point you make in your letter is, and I'm a nurse.
I am a nurse, and my husband also works at the hospital where I work, and we're medical-oriented people. We had faith in the system, and we felt that the system blew it.
But your fear is that for people who do not have the body of medical expertise that you and your husband do,
that a lot more is going to be missed. There's going to be sicker infants and sicker mothers at home without the follow-up care.
Who wants to answer or respond?
I think Barbara's probably better from a medical standpoint.
I'm personally sorry that you had those difficulties. I know it's difficult to have to get up and go back in when you're trying to recover. Could I ask how long did you stay in? We always ask that the mother stay 4 to 6 hours after a circumcision.
Yeah, we did stay. He was circumcised at 10 a.m. and we stayed till 3 to make sure he'd voided and everything.
Okay.
And the hemorrhage occurred later that evening.
What time?
At 7 o'clock, 4 hours after we were home. And he hemorrhaged from 7 until 11 that night till we made it back to the hospital. But I had requested that he be circumcised the day after delivery, and that didn't happen. He didn't get circumcised till the morning of discharge.
And he was, everything was normal during that course of time, the first few days of his life?
He was okay. He was in the ICU for 24 hours for observation, but he was deemed to be stable, and he was okay for circumcision. It's just that it was the end of the year, and babies were being born for income tax purposes on December 30th, and they were really busy and couldn't get to him. So he was discharged. He was circumcised on December 31st.
Completely, I would like to review all of the records and the information. As far as the other situation with the baby, I agree that should have been found in the hospital. Sometimes a fractured clavicle is difficult to pick up. I would like to say that the nurse is part of our healthcare team as well, and that I am pleased that she did a thorough exam and did find that, and then it was picked up at that time. And I can just emphasize that it's an ongoing evaluation process, that we don't end from the time the baby goes home. Our responsibility begins right at the time that mother is pregnant, and from the pediatrician standpoint, from the time the baby's born, and we follow that baby always throughout for 24 hours a day.
Had you seen a nurse, the home nurse, by the time that your son started hemorrhaging?
No, she came the next day.
The next day?
After we'd been in the emergency room for several hours.
Causing a hemorrhage after circumcision is what? Is that a vitamin deficiency?
No, that's very infrequent. Sometimes it's the technique of the procedure. It may be any number of things.
But I understand,
It is
Dr.
very
Wood,
rare, yes.
that your concern is not just these specific instances cited, but that you say there are a lot of other things going on in the first few days of a child's life that raise significant medical issues. I mean, tick them off. If you had to make your case and say, Mr. Blackwood, I don't like this policy, what do you want to say?
Let me give you one example of a child born 11 years ago. Perfectly normal pregnancy, perfectly normal labor and delivery, competent mother, second-time mother. The infant came out fine and was pronounced fine, was examined by my office perfectly well. The baby was spitting, but many babies spit. It's not at all unusual. Not vomiting, just spitting, not taking particularly well, but not a poor feeder, did not have exorbitant weight loss. The next day, 36 hours later, as the new insurance would incur, this patient would have been discharged. At 43 hours of age, give or take a half an hour, this baby had projectile vomiting and was diagnosed in the hospital as having a severe congenital anomaly requiring emergency surgery at Children's. This particular anomaly is very infrequent, one that I haven't seen since this particular child was born. This child would have died at home or may have died at home because he would have had an aspiration pneumonia. This infant is now quite fine and doing quite well in school. This is one example of a concern we have of late infection. Of late complication.
Late complications. Others, just tick them off for me.
Oh, yellow jaundice, for example. In the past, if we saw a child the next day who had mild jaundice, we would not be concerned because we'd see the child the following day and we would tell the mother the baby's a little bit jaundiced, but we're not worried. Now they're going home and we have to say, this is very mild jaundice. Here's what you might expect in the next day or two. And then she begins to ask us questions. We now have created a mother who was perfectly calm, who's now no longer perfectly calm. She's taking a baby home who may develop yellow jaundice. We have to tell her this because we're not going to have the opportunity to see this child the next day, nor is that nurse. And incidentally, we don't know that nurse. It's not as if she's an arm of the institution. She's an arm of an agency paid for by the insurance company.
You have taken Health America patients in the past.
Yes.
And now?
We are closed to new Health America patients.
Why?
There are many reasons. We don't. We find that at times we are forced to practice 2 levels of care.
2 levels of care. What, 1 level of care for your advantaged patients who aren't on
I wouldn't call them advantaged. I would call them different.
Different.
I wouldn't use the word advantaged.
One set of patients gets more care?
No. One set of patients has traditional health care. The other set of patients has managed health care. Managed health care where we take the name out of a book for a referral. We make a different referral for a blood test because they have to go to now a programmed area where there is a contract with Health America. It is not the traditional hospital setting where we know the people who are drawing the blood. And many of the other services are different than the services we traditionally would use. And
you don't like it?
No.
Coming right back. I need to make you... Have you tried to get time off from work to have a baby or care for an ill family member and been denied? Did your employer say okay, but not guarantee that you would have a job when you'd return? Maybe they supported your decision and said take all the time you need. If any of those are the case, give us a call at 244-4447. How does mandatory family leave affect you? Call 244-4447 now.
These are the tools of the trade, the tools of your future. The future you may find at the Art Institute of Pittsburgh. Your future in commercial art, interior design, fashion illustration, photography.
You've always enjoyed working with your hands, being creative. Now, you can enjoy getting the career you've always wanted at the Art Institute. Commercial art, photography, interior design, fashion illustration. For this free booklet, call 800-292-1100. That's 800-292-1100.
Don't simmer this summer. Stay cool with a stellar 2000 CS heat pump system from York and have peace of mind with York's 5-year parts and labor warranty. Your neighborhood York dealer is ready to give you expert installation and service after the sale. Call your York dealer today for more information on the stellar CS heat pumps, as York's top-of-the-line stellar 2000 CS heat pumps are the quality choice. York makes you feel good inside. Call your York dealer today.
How far do you have to go for a fixed-rate second mortgage loan? Not far. It's as close as the Money Store's local toll-free number. 1-800-LOAN-YES. You're just a phone call away from low fixed rates and quick approval. And after closing, you've got 2 weeks to change your mind for any reason. Guaranteed? That's right. Just return the money and the deal is off. At no cost to you. Call from anywhere for details about our money-back guarantee. Dial 1-800-LOAN-YES.
Now through Monday, May 28th at the Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries, it's a Memorial Weekend sales celebration. We salute those who serve with very special savings throughout the gallery. Twin platters regularly $1,019, everyday low price $7.99, Memorial Special $6.88. Recliners regularly $609, everyday low price $4.89, Memorial Special $3.88. It's a very special sale at the Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries in South Hills, North Hills, Robinson Town Center across from IKEA, and Route 22 East in Monroeville.
Washington County Coroner and the Chrysler Corporation, the latest at noon.
I go to a phone call. Pam from Brighton Heights. Good morning.
Hi, Ann.
Hi.
I have a comment. I belong to Health America, and last April I had my first baby.
Right.
Well, first of all, I had to have labor induced because the baby was 2 weeks late and it hadn't moved that morning, and the doctor was worried something was wrong. So I had my baby. The labor was very painful, which, you know, it is to everyone. But after 24 hours, they released me. The nurses and my doctor couldn't understand why they were releasing me so early. Then I was told I'd have a visiting nurse. Well, when I came home to make the arrangements with Health America, they told me that the only way I could have a visiting nurse is if I had a prescription from my doctor. So I never had a visiting nurse. And my mother is here, but my mother-in-law isn't, so I had no help from anyone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when you're a first-time mother and you're coming home after 24 hours, you know, you need help.
All right. Thank you for your point. Response? I mean, do you have to have a prescription, or is this visiting nurse routine?
There is a coordinator from the South Hills Health System who's in the hospital every day, who goes to every mother and obtains the information. It is in my system, I'm in the closed panel of the HMO.
I know, but get us away from all this bureaucratic stuff. I mean, am I guaranteed a nurse coming the first day that I'm home?
If it's a 24-hour discharge, it is guaranteed. Now, I don't know what happened in that circumstance. There was some problem with communication. I don't understand it. I'd be happy to explore that further.
If she called up Health America and said, I'm home, been 24 hours, no nurse, would you automatically send one out?
We would want to know that she delivered and verify her membership. Beyond that, we always send visits. In fact, at 24 hours, we often send 2 visits, one the second day and one the third day.
Okay, but if she didn't get one, she should call. She should have called.
She should have called, yes.
And would have definitely gotten one.
And we have mechanisms through member services to get that taken care of.
Okay, Kathy from Sewickley, good morning.
Hi, my comments about, I had a baby, my third, in a birthing center, and I came home 4 hours after I had the baby. And I did have 2 other children in hospital, and I wasn't nearly as pleased with that. So I think if there's no risk involved and there's a low risk factor, I see nothing wrong. I think it's so much better if you can go home.
Okay. The question that we're raising here this morning is who gets to decide? Does the mother get to say, I can't face going home, I need another day? Does the doctor get to say, for my patient, I want the opportunity to call the shots. I want the opportunity to decide when that patient is discharged from the hospital? Or does the insurer get to set a time limit and say 24 and out, 36 and out? If you fit these criteria. We have not heard from you at all this morning. You say, Dr. Giles, that you're middle of the road. Here you're the chairman, professor of OB at Allegheny General Hospital. Your view in this is what?
Well, I think that there are two sides of the issue, and I think I have the opportunity to see both of them. I personally have been trained in an era almost 20 years ago when a 7-day stay was routine after vaginal birth. Then we saw it go to 3 days, 4 days, and 3 days for quite some time. And it's only in the recent couple of years that we're encroaching on the 36 and 24-hour restrictions. I can only say that there are certainly patients that I've delivered that are under our care system that have not only been able to go home within 24 to 36 hours, but have wanted to go home. And I think in that instance, the onus is on us as healthcare providers to make sure, to the limit of our ability, that we've screened out medical conditions in the baby and in the mother, that the mother is aware of complications that might develop, and that in those instances we dispatch our home care service to follow up, not on inquiry or on request, but as an automatic at the time of discharge to make sure, to the limit that we can do it, that we pick up on complications. On the other hand, I'm very much troubled by setting an arbitrary limit for every mother, to say that every mother should go home in 24 or everyone should go home in 36. That's not true. I have some mothers that can go home in 24 and some who need to stay even longer than 36 hours. Sometimes there are very legitimate reasons for it. We've been faced recently with mothers who've delivered tiny premature infants, and this is a critical time for bonding with these babies who may have many problems, but yet mother is told, I'm sorry, your time is up, you must go home and commute back and forth to the hospital to see your baby. I too have had children with congenital anomalies, both major and minor, that have not been able to be picked up in the first couple of days of life. It takes 2 days to get a chromosome analysis back to be sure whether a baby has Down syndrome or not. We also, in this day and age, are facing a problem with some drug abuse in pregnancy, even here in Pittsburgh. And for babies whose mothers are addicted to drugs, withdrawal often does not occur until the 2nd or 3rd day of life. So there are lots of things we can miss from the baby standpoint.
Let me get to the bottom line here. In your view, whose decision should it be?
Unequivocally, it has to be the decision of the obstetrician, the pediatrician, and the mother.
But is it the decision of those three, in your view, Mr. Blackwood?
Absolutely it is. The medical necessity.
But where is your HMO in all of this,
That's
I guess?
exactly where it is. In fact, this is...
No, sir. No, sir. A baby delivered at 11:49 in the morning. That mother is out the next day. She has no choice unless we can find something medically wrong.
Doctor,
No,
let me just say that...
If it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, she can stay the following day.
Doctor, only 24% of the patients with normal vaginal delivery since we started this program have gone on this 36-hour program. The other 75% have not. So it is not a mandatory situation. A very small percentage, in fact, of the patients have gone home because we do take the medical considerations under direct review, and no way do we want to discharge a mother at risk or a baby at risk.
He's violently shaking his head.
It's from a piece of paper that has a bunch of statistics. It's not from discussing it with the mother. It's not from discussing it with the pediatrician, and it's not from discussing it with the obstetrician. It is from a piece of paper. It's an actuarial. It says this baby had good APGARs, this baby was born without prolonged rupture of membranes, this baby is full term, this baby goes tomorrow. There is no choice by the mother, the pediatrician, or the obstetrician, sir.
I don't agree at all, doctor. In fact, that's not the way the program is structured.
Well, but if there is a checkoff, I mean, what qualifies as normal? I mean, do you just check off, and if everybody fits that criteria,
out? No,
it's out?
Absolutely not. We're looking for a direct intervention by people, by human beings, by the physicians.
But are they your doctors?
Absolutely. They're our doctors.
They're your Health America doctors.
Health America doctors.
If a Health America doctor justifies an extended stay,
the patient stays.
If he puts that down in
Absolutely.
writing, the patient stays.
No questions.
Is it also the case, as I have heard from other members of the medical community who do not participate in your program, that if the doctor recommends an extended stay, they might be forced to justify that in peer review? They might have to say, explain themselves to someone with your insurance company.
We have a medical director, which they may talk to discuss the issue, but it is a collaborative effort. It's not being dictated by a peer review organization. Not at all.
But in the back of their minds, those doctors have got to think, I might have to justify this. It's not my professional decision that's going to be the last word on this.
The professionals involved with Health America have agreed to work within our system, which means collaborating with the other physicians in our system. That's expected behavior, and it's good behavior. It's seeking additional input, and it's learning how our system can support the mother and the baby in the home.
But bottom line is, that might happen.
What might happen?
I'm Dr. A. I say she's got to stay longer.
If he or she can justify that remaining stay on medical grounds, or if there's no social supports at home, the baby will stay.
Justify to?
Yes. To the medical directors of Health America, or perhaps some of our staff.
We'll take a break. Would you like to be part of our studio audience? Well, it's really easy. All you have to do is give us a call at 244-4447 to reserve your free tickets. That's 244-4447. If you'd like to join us here at Pittsburgh's Talking, call now.
When you've got hemorrhoids, walking is bad enough. Sitting is even worse. Anusol ointment has an anesthetic for the itch. Does your brand? Anusol ointment has an anesthetic for the pain. Does yours? Anusol has an anesthetic to take the hurt out of hemorrhoids.
Listen to what may be the most important message you'll ever hear. The medical industry is booming. Qualified people are needed desperately to fill key positions as medical assistants, lab assistants, and medical secretaries. People like you have never been in greater demand, but you need training. Call Sawyer School. We'll rush you the information you need to get started so you can be on the job fast. Financial aid and job placement assistance is available, so don't wait. Call Sawyer School right now.
When the stranger brought that bullseye, a showdown was a brewing. There was open pit, hunts, and masterpiece, all trying to outdo him. But as the sweet smoke rose from the grill, the stranger showed his best. Knowing once folks tried that big, bold taste, that bullseye'd stand the test. And throughout the land, every woman and man marveled at the feat.
In showdown after showdown, bullseye can't be beat.
The big, bold taste of bullseye can't be beat.
UCAN Rent has the winning combinations, and we're racing them to you. Rent this washer for just $12.99 a week, or for just $7 more, or $19.99 per week. You can rent this washer, dryer, and microwave. Or you can rent 2 pieces of exquisite diamond and gold jewelry for as little as $13.99 per week. And our winning combination of TVs, VCRs, stereos, appliances, and furniture make us a winner on any track. Plus, you get free service, instant delivery, and no paperwork hassles. Visit the UCAN Rent store in your neighborhood today.
Start here in the audience, yes.
Yes, I have a question for Mr. Blackwood. A baby is born and it seems normal. It's released from the hospital, but then there's complications like a day later. Is your organization in any way held liable?
Well, certainly. We're at risk both financially and professionally for everything that happens to both mother and baby, which is why we take this this is so important to us. It's such a caring and it's such a basic issue. We have reviewed it. We know it's a good program. We have the protections in place to identify the problems, get the mother or the baby into the hospital to see the pediatrician, the obstetrician, whatever, and the plan covers that 100%.
Let me ask you, how many babies total have been delivered in this fashion and discharged?
68.
68. Of those 68, have you had complications?
We have had 0 readmissions to any hospital for either mother or baby related to the discharge. And that is absolutely typical of the situation around the country and other cities who have adopted this program.
So I would deduce from that that you're not facing any lawsuits or legal action from any of those mothers.
No.
I mean, there's not exposure.
No,
you haven't felt as if, uh-oh, something's really gone wrong here.
No.
My group of pediatricians who comprise, there are 15 pediatricians, 10 of whom are women, 5 of whom are male. 13 of the group have children of their own. We're all, as Dr. Glick is, very concerned about the child. We're child advocates. as pediatricians. We want the best for that child, and we investigated this program very thoroughly over the years. I've been with the organization for 12 years, and I've done it for a long time, studying what's going on in the country.
How many of your
throughout the
patients
country.
are HMO patients?
I have all HMO patients.
So you know what the skeptics are going to say, but doctor, your total livelihood, the income of your livelihood is dependent then on Health America.
I'm salaried, but those are my patients. It's my practice. I've had the same patients for 10, 12 years. And they're very important to me.
But the bottom line is you are salaried from Health America. So, I mean, what about people who might say you might be a doctor, but you're getting your money from them, and maybe that's why you're playing ball with this? And
well, I'm first of all a pediatrician, and that's my profession, and I don't think there's not a conflict there.
You're not.
As the pediatricians are the ones who devised this program and set the controls in place for the babies.
And I think it's very important to point out that unplanned readmissions to a hospital is not necessarily a valid way of looking at the complication rate or the success or failure of the program. At our hospital, an unplanned readmission within 15 days of discharge demands an entire audit to find out what went wrong with the healthcare system. What we need to look at is how many return phone calls were made, or office visits, or, as we heard earlier today, emergency room visits for follow-up of either maternal complications, such as an infected or bleeding episiotomy, or a mother who's having difficulty with engorged breasts and can't get her lactation established, or a mother who's running a fever 2 or 3 days postpartum.
Mr. Blackwood?
Doctor, I couldn't agree with you more. And in fact, the literature review throughout the country has shown that the rate of complications following an early discharge program like that do not exceed in any way the same rates for mothers who are discharged later.
But, I mean, do you have findings yet from those?
It's too early. Our program has only been in effect for about 2 months.
You don't have any numbers?
We're taking the data. We have no indications that the complication rates are greater, and we certainly have no readmissions.
Oh, no, but they're not being managed in the hospital. They're being managed at home with 2 other kids to care for, or by quick office visits back into Dr. Glick's office. And that's quite different than being able to do it in a structured environment where there's laboratory support, consulting support.
Are you saying they could cook the books?
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Are you saying that that whatever their numbers might be of complications might not necessarily be as unbiased as they would be if they came from hospitals doing the monitoring?
Well, let me say this, and I think a lot has focused on Health America today. We're seeing some of these constraints from many other health provider organizations as well.
I mean, there are people who believe that Health America, you all have been the pioneer, you shortened to 48 hours, everybody followed suit. And now this is the next frontier. You all are taking the heat and leading the way, but everybody else is waiting, and if you all are successful and this has happened,
they'll probably
everybody
follow.
else has followed suit.
Let me just mention one thing, if I could. It's important to note that Health America has been in Pittsburgh for 15 years. We have delivered over 10,000 babies in the Pittsburgh community in a caring and successful manner. We have a very strong history of working on both the OB and the pediatric level. This is of basic importance to our organization. We would do nothing to jeopardize our ability to deliver this service. And if our procedures need to be strengthened, if we need to communicate better with mothers and their families, we want to do those things to bring the services to the home.
Are you getting indications that that's the case, that you need to do better?
No, what we're saying is that we want to monitor in the home environment, in the emergency room, in the office of the physicians. We do want that feedback. In fact, we're getting questionnaires on all of our patients to give us that feedback.
What about outside review? Would you welcome that?
Certainly would,
Of
absolutely.
an independent board of, say, pediatricians and OBGYNs not connected with your plan, not on your payroll, to review what has happened with your
Certainly,
mothers?
and that's been done elsewhere in the country, and that's where that data in the medical literature came from.
We're making news this morning. Let's take a break. Join us tomorrow for an issue that affects us all, family leave. Should the federal government require businesses to give employees time off to care for newborn babies or ill family members and then guarantee them jobs when they go back to work? Who will pick up the cost? Guarantee family leave? Tell us what you think tomorrow at 10.
Fashion merchandising at the Art Institute.
When I think of fashion, I think of people.
I'd always be the one to dress differently.
I like the business aspect, and like I mentioned before, I want my own clothing stores.
I want to to work with fashion shows.
When I think of fashion, it just turns me on.
It's great.
Fashion merchandising at the Art Institute. For more information, call 1-800-641-6500. 1-800-641-6500.
Even round here, when folks started worrying about cholesterol, breakfast got kinda lean. But now the rich, hearty breakfast is back. Folks are pouring on a fresh, creamy taste with no cholesterol. Now there's Farm Rich Non-Dairy Breakfast Creamer. Farm Rich tastes fantastic on flakes, beautiful on berries, creamy in coffee with no cholesterol. Farm Rich Non-Dairy Breakfast Creamer. A fresh, creamy taste with no cholesterol.
I'm Alan Offstein of Furniture Galleries. Come visit us now during our Barcalounger special order sale. Choose this Barcalounger recliner in any fabric and pay only $2.99. Or this recliner in your favorite upholstery at just $3.99. Or select this top-of-the-line Barcalounger in hundreds of fabrics, including leather, for an incredible $4.99. Incredible choices, incredible savings on America's finest recliner. And remember, we deliver anywhere. Furniture Galleries, Route 8, 15 minutes north of the Turnpike.
Okay, right here.
To me, it seems like, this is directed to the HMO director and physician. It seems like the insurance company is dictating to the medical profession how to practice. They are saying that you have to get out in 24 hours. Why, or we will only pay unless there's a complication. If a doctor is intelligent, he will make the decision to discharge in 24 hours if the patient doesn't have complications. Why not let them make the decision and not have them make them justify every step of the way?
I'd like to respond to that.
Hold on, it's not for you though, Mr. Blackwood. With all due respect, doctor, yes.
I think it's important to realize that we do seek out the advice of the physicians, and they are the person who are reviewing the case most closely. Don't think that we're trying to dictate it. We're not trying to dictate it. We're simply trying to set a series of guidelines to follow. These guidelines are mutable. They can be moved. They are not fixed in stone.
Do you keep looking at cost containment because employers who pay the benefit costs are saying to you, look, our premiums are going up by X% each year. What can you do to control healthcare costs for us?
Part of our job is to look at cost containment, along with all the quality issues that go with it. We have to look at both of those elements when making decisions. Yes, there's enormous concern in the employer community because the rates of increase in Pittsburgh and in western Pennsylvania in particular are the fastest in Pennsylvania.
But I sense that you think, and I can just read it in the expression of your face, that everybody's looking at you like you're the bad guy.
Well, I think HMOs have traditionally taken a lot of the heat, but it's, that's part of our role, I think.
Marianne from North Hills, good morning.
Hi, I wanted to say I'm very angry about this. As a recent new mother and also a nurse who works on a unit discharging postpartum mothers, I feel that that's just rushing these women out with a newborn, and they're saying that the nurse will come out and visit the next day. Nothing can match a nurse being right there with every question you have. She can answer it and reassure the mother and tell her everything's going to be all right or help her with things. I just think it's terrible.
All right, thank you so much. Go, Dr. Giles.
Well, that's absolutely right. There are so many things that are done during that first 24 to 36 hours in the hospital in terms of education, reassurance, support of a patient who often is beginning the signs of postpartum depression. But let me assure you, I had the most disconcerting thing happen this week of a resident who asked me if he thought he could find enough of a bladder problem in a postpartum patient to allow her to stay in the hospital because her baby was jaundiced and was going to stay overnight. Now, it's pretty bad when we're asking health providers to find a reason, maybe not quite honest, that fits under the guidelines so that the care will be paid for. And that's not the first time that's happened. So we do feel very much constrained by these.
Finding that reason in that resident's view was based on compassion for a mother so that she could stay with her baby.
To the point of bordering on even professional dishonesty, if I may use the word, and that's a sad state of affairs.
Oh,
But
there
we
is.
don't want anything to do with professional dishonesty. We want absolute honesty.
Would you discharge the mother?
I would discharge the mother if there was no complications, if there was no indication for staying.
Even if she has to leave her baby then?
No, not if she has to leave her baby. I want the doctors involved with that.
No.
Taking a break.
No. Even if she has to leave her baby.
The insurance people call it a slip and fall, an innocent-sounding name for serious injuries. Injuries caused by a wet, slippery floor, an uneven sidewalk, ice, or snow. If you've suffered this type of injury, call the Tri-State Legal Connections Accident Hotline. You may be entitled to a substantial cash settlement. An attorney who concentrates in personal injury cases will fight to help you get what's fair. Call the Accident Hotline, 800-333-0992.
Now at Pickway, save on stylish sandals and canvas casuals. Great new looks for summer, just $3.99 this week at Pickway.
Pickway shoes, take your pick.
No Englishman has willfully gone into the water since William the Conqueror, 1066. It was too cold. But here, on your magnificent Virginia beach, I couldn't restrain myself. The water is delightful. One thing, when you come to Virginia, the natives are very curious about visitors. Excuse me, have you never seen anyone swimming before?
For your free Virginia vacation guide, call 1-800-VISIT-VA.
Thank you for joining us this morning, and thanks for sitting down to discuss this issue. I hope this is just the beginning of the discussion. I hope we can get you all to come back at a later date to pick this up at some point again in the future. Will you all agree to do that? Because it sounds like things are changing for women in Pittsburgh who are thinking of having children, correct? Can everybody agree on that? Whoa, I found one point of agreement. See you tomorrow at 10.
Transportation provided by Elegant Limousines of Pittsburgh. Ann Devlin's wardrobe courtesy of Kaufman's through the personal shopping service. Hair care by Griff's Hair Salon in Shadyside.
Would you like answers to questions about your heart?
Yes.
West Penn provides answers with free monthly booklets on healthcare issues. Call today.
No down payment, no interest payments, no payments at all for 1 full year. The furniture is free for 1 full year when you buy this weekend only at Levin Furniture. Beautiful heirloom quality furniture by Henderson, Pennsylvania House, Broyhill, all the famous names. Water beds and bedding too. There's no down payments, no interest payments, absolutely no payments of any kind for 1 full year. This weekend only at Levin Furniture, now Pittsburgh's largest fine furniture dealer.
When the stranger brought that bullseye, a showdown was a brewing. There was open pit, hunts, and masterpiece, all trying to outdo him. But as the sweet smoke rose from the grill, the stranger showed his best. Knowing once folks tried that big, bold taste, that bullseye'd stand the test. And throughout the land, every woman and man marveled at the feat.
In showdown after showdown, bullseye can't be beat.
The big, bold taste of bullseye can't be beat.
This is WTAE 4 News.
Good morning. Here are some of the stories making headlines at this hour in the WTAE 4 newsroom. Here's a scary one. A man flying on a commuter jet was treated for minor cuts and bruises after he was nearly, but not quite, sucked out of the plane at 14,000 feet. Airplane officials from Seattle say the commuter jet was flying there at 14,000 when a window blew out, ejecting the man almost just out of the jet. An airplane spokesperson says the man, Gail Sears, was kept inside of the plane by another passenger who held on to him until the plane could make an emergency landing. Sears was on his way to Harrisburg. A Southside man is being accused of dealing drugs by his 9-year-old son. 37-year-old John Chekai was in court yesterday and listened to his son Daniel testify that his father used and sold drugs from their home. Daniel says he called police after watching a television show that described how a parent's drug abuse affects the children. The father, John Chekai, is now facing numerous charges. Pittsburgh Mayor Sophie Masloff has sworn in a new Housing Authority director this morning. David Washington was appointed in January, forced to resign, and criticism of the Housing Authority Board of Directors. Washington was later reappointed. He replaces Dan Petrogallo, who retired under fire at the beginning of the year. In order to tear down or reconstruct a condemned apartment building in Plum Borough is in limbo this morning. Tom Reginella was ordered to decide what he was going to do with these apartments by 5 o'clock yesterday. Today, a legal battle is underway because Reginella claims it's the borough's fault. Repairs couldn't be made to avoid damage that's coming down from a sliding hillside. Ex-North Huntington Police Chief William Berkovich is facing 65 counts of obstructing justice this morning. Berkovich is accused of allegedly fixing traffic tickets. In addition, he was also charged with conspiracy and false imprisonment. Berkovich was fired last week. Now for a look at today's weather forecast. Joe DiNardo has said as follows. Today, partly sunny with late afternoon showers, a high of 70 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy and a high of 47 degrees. And tomorrow, partly sunny and a high of 70. All of this, plus sports and weather at noon.
What do you say to mustard, to barbecue? What do you say to spinach, to chili, to grass? Let the protein power of Era do the talking. And when stains come calling, you can say, scram, beat it, get lost, take a hike, you're out of here. And if you show your ugly face again, you'll get more of the same. Era reigns over stains.